So this Team America twist is just not working. And this 2HOH thing is stupid. The Battle of the Block, I like the Battle of the Block, but I don't want to see it return next season. Here's what I would like to see next season. And I hope the Big Brother producers, the fans, will all get behind this, because I think this would be a good way to flip the game in a way. Instead of being able to choose the nominees for eviction, the HOH would in fact choose the people that will be safe. 2 to 4, let's go with 4 since there are 4 people that are initially nominated this season. Have 4 people that are chosen to be safe. Now naturally, these are probably going to be the people that are going to be in these people's alliance. So therefore, the alliances won't be like 8 people strong, because it would be quite obvious if there's that big of an alliance. It'd only be 4 people safe. So these 4 people, plus the HOH, obviously, cannot be evicted, but everybody else is up for grabs. That would make for some very interesting votes. It would get rid of this whole stupid entire house voting, like 9 to nothing, 8 to nothing, 7 to nothing to vote people out. It would actually equalize the game, I believe. We would still have the power veto, and people would be competing for safety. If the HOH or one of the 2 to 4 safe nominees win the POV, then they could choose to use that on somebody else. It could be another alliance member, it could be somebody that you're paying a favor back to. If one of the other people wins the power veto, they would actually be able to swap places with somebody that is safe. So you would still have the opportunity for some backdooring there. So I think that would be a very interesting twist on the game, and I would really like to see that next season. Please, Allison Grodner, change the formula, because this Team America shit that you do every year, whether it's called the Saboteur or America's Player, Team America, it's bullshit. It always ends up failing. The fans can vote on what they want the person in the house to do. Somehow, somebody always gets screwed up, or someone just doesn't want to participate, like Donnie. Anyway, this week, if you have not seen the episodes recently, you know that Zach is probably going to go home this week. It's kind of been hinted at on the TV show, and if you watch the live feeds, it's pretty obvious that that's what's going to happen. If you're watching past this point, there are going to be spoilers. So if you don't like spoilers, cut this video off, go somewhere else, go watch Cats or Rabbits or whatever the hell you want to watch on YouTube, because I'm going to reveal some spoilers. Frankie is another Andy. And Zingbot actually, Zingbot came in the house this week with Kathy Griffin, one of my favorite comedians. I wish she would have been able to go into the Celebrity Big Brother house, but apparently, I think Celebrity Big Brother came on about an hour ago in England, and most of the house guests, the housemates, as they call them over there, have already been decided. I think there's maybe about 2 or 3 more. A lot of times it's a surprise who goes in the house, because they literally had 3 days. 3 days from when the British version of Big Brother ends and crowns its winner to retrofit the house and get ready for Celebrity Big Brother. I wish they would do that here, to be honest. Wish we would have a fall edition of Big Brother, and it would be a Celebrity Big Brother, or an All-Stars Big Brother, where they could just switch it up, every year. One year it'll be All-Stars, one year it'll be Celebrity Big Brother. I think that would be a way to make it refreshing, and have all newbies for the summer. That way you constantly get a new cast coming in every year that could possibly go to All-Stars. But Kathy Griffin, the comedian, got to go into the house with Zingbot, and Zingbot had some pretty rough comments for the house guests this season. It was probably rougher than any of them I've ever seen. At least that's what we hear from the live feeds. Supposedly, one of the comments to Derek, this is so funny too, because I just tweeted earlier in the day, and this will sound awful. If you're a Derek fan, I apologize. I mean, I really wasn't a Derek fan to begin with from the preseason. I mean, in my cast review video, I kind of said that he was kind of like cardboard. He had a flat personality. And he was kind of dumb. And everybody was going to figure out that he was older than he says he is, because he has this belief that everybody thinks he's a young college kid, and they're not going to know that he's 30. Anyway, Derek was chosen early on after Joey failed that first week with Team America and got voted out. Derek ended up getting on Team America with Donnie and Frankie. So Derek was popular in the beginning. And everybody says he's controlling the house, but yeah, he's kind of controlling the house. But he's only controlling the house if you consider the fact that whatever the mood is in the house, or whatever Caleb says actually, whatever Caleb's mood is in the house at the time, then Derek's going to go along with that and then claim that he's running the house. But clearly there's a huge disconnect in what Derek thinks he's doing and what Derek is actually doing, because this last Team America, this task, they had to go out and get one piece of favorite clothing from every single house guest and hide it, and then set up a neighborhood watch program so that it doesn't happen again for the next 24 hours. Okay, well, it didn't start off very good, because Derek went and told all the other two, Donnie and Frankie, about the task. And he said they have to find 2 personal items from each house guest. So his communication skills suck. Well, Frankie goes, gets his own glitter, and gets Christine's bear or tiger, whatever the hell that plushie was, and hides it. Those are not clothing pieces. Well, then they decide to blame it on Zach, who they are going to vote out this week. And the renom rule, I'm sure you've heard about this whole renom thing on Twitter. I mean, I was tweeting it too, because it is in the rule book. If you go back earlier in the season on live feeds, you will hear Amber talking about it in the storage room with Devin when they are reading this handbook that they have found, which has all the rules of Big Brother. And that handbook is always there. Just sometimes people just don't know that it's there and they don't read it, so they clearly don't know the rules. And this was a really new cast. I mean, they were green around the gills. They had no clue what they were doing when they came in this house. Even Frankie, who claims to be a superfan, has not seen the live feeds, and he thinks that Janelle didn't make it past halfway through the seasons that she's been on. Yeah, you're a real fan. Anyway, I had tweeted, I don't know where in the world I went off on this track, but I've definitely gone way off the track. Started out talking about Zingbot, and then I ended up going off to everything else. But this Team America thing. Derek miscommunicated the rest of them. I'm just going to finish this up, and then I'm going to go back to my original point. Derek miscommunicated the point to them, so they got the wrong thing. Well, they blamed it on Zach, which got the rest of the house convinced that Zach is a saboteur and that Zach should be voted out. Just sealing the nail in his coffin, the poor guy. And this is, Frankie, his friend, that's supposed to be one of his closest allies, that's doing this to him. Zankie is clearly over, folks. Zankie is clearly over. But they blamed Zach, and then it was all for naught, because they go into the diary room, and Frankie finds out from production that the rules stated it was supposed to be articles of clothing. And then Frankie's like, oh, well, I've kind of figured that, so I went back and I got Christine's comp clothes from the competition and hid those. There's another part in that rule that says favorite article of clothing. It's like the gator shirt or the bunny slippers. It's your favorite article of clothing. Comp clothes are not Christine's clothes. Those are props for a competition. So they failed. They miserably failed. Maybe production will give it to them. I don't know. If they do, Allison Grodner can go jump off a cliff. The this Team America thing is just absolutely awful. And I had made a comment on Twitter about Team America, and specifically about Derek. I had said Derek was reminding me, especially when he's in the diary room and he has that beanie on, which kind of makes his face look weird. It makes it look like his eyes and his nose and his mouth are all scrunched up in the middle of his face. And then those eyes are so blue, so they like kind of stand out. He looks like a pig from Animal Farm. Saw a live action, like CGI version of Animal Farm a few years ago, and he looks exactly like Napoleon. And the pig reference, with him being a cop, I apologize. It wasn't intentional. He looks like that. And Zingbot makes a comment in the house that you're going to see on the next episode. He goes, well, it looks like there's some very attractive men in the house this year. Oh, hi, Derek. I didn't see you there. That's so personal. Zingbot doesn't usually get that personal. Danielle Murphy, he got pretty personal. But that was very, very, very personal. But this week, when Zach gets eliminated and voted out and sent to the jury house, he's not going to be there long because somebody's coming back this week. It's the end of the Battle of the Block competition, is what Julie said. But I don't think she said anything about HOH. So there is a possibility there'll be 2 HOHs. And I think a really good twist would be if one of the HOHs is one of the 4 evicted house guests that were sent to jury. Either America chooses them, like a new Team America type twist, or they have to compete with the others on the wall, and I'm sure it's going to be like one of those endurance challenges where they're standing on a surfboard or some type of plank, and it goes up and down, tries to throw them off, and water gets shot at them. I'm sure it's going to be something like that. But I would really like it if there were 2 HOHs. One of them was from the jury pool, and one of them was from the regular house guests that are still there. That would be great. But who do you want to come back? Because I personally want Zach Attack to come back. That would be great for him to be booted. He goes out, talks to Julie, comes right back in, gets up on those boards, wins that endurance challenge, gets HOH, puts Frankie up, kicks Frankie out. That would be great. That would be karma. And I think even Ariana Grande would be happy with that situation. I think she would find that kind of fun and interesting. Or will it be Hayden, the forgotten man? I mean, I hardly even remember he was on the season. Though he did say if he goes back in, his targets were going to be Derek and Frankie, I believe. It was either Derek, Cody, or Derek and Frankie, but it's basically from Detonators. Or will it be the Holy Bow Tie? Yeah, I wouldn't kind of want her to come back. I mean, she was interesting. I actually started liking her there towards the end. But I just don't think she has enough game to really cuddle together an alliance to beat the Detonators. Donnie is now in the house basically by himself because Victoria is she's all up Derek's ass. So Donnie is really by himself. So I would like to see either Hayden, Zach, or Jocasta come back in and ally with Donnie and try to get these out. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. Nicole is loved by a lot of people, and she's a super fan, and I know she would come back in and she would want to go after Frankie and all of them too. But oh my god, she's so whiny and annoying. I can't stand her voice. I know a lot of people say they can't stand my voice, but man, that girl has that monotone whine, and it just does not stop. There have been people on Twitter that says they want to see her go back in because she's capable of fireworks. I didn't see any fireworks from her. All I saw was just a bunch of whining. She's like a toothless chihuahua is what I said. Because she has a lot of bark but has no bite. So, I don't want to see Nicole back in. But anyway, who would you like to see go back in the house? Do you think Zach could possibly be saved between now and Thursday? Comment below, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Tumblr, subscribe to my channel. Thank you.